Good morning. The old man here. September 4th, 2025. Today what I'd like to talk about is constitutional silver and silver in general. Be aware as the price of silver goes up, there'll be more and more fakes and frauds out there. You'll see a lot of it on Facebook Marketplace, silver that's extremely cheap. Therefore, you got to know it's fake. The other thing, even on eBay yesterday, a quick look through eBay, they sent me something, a notification, something I was watching, was at a better price or something, I don't know. But at any rate, they showed me something. I opened it up, and right below that was a monster box or 500 ounces of, I believe it was Britannica's, 500 ounces of Britannicas for like $8,500. And if you break that down, it's like $17 an ounce. We got to know that's fake. All right. But when people find themselves behind the eight ball, trying to catch up, they'll start falling for this kind of crap. Mostly because they're uneducated, they're new to the space. They think there are those kind of deals out there. You just got to find them. Well, there's not. There's not those kind of deals out there. I recommend that you get to know a local coin shop, develop some sort of a relationship with them, and somebody you can buy from that you can trust. They'll stand behind their product. They're not gonna buy fakes, because then they got to try and sell fakes, and you start selling fakes and your reputation goes to hell in a handbasket, and before you know it, you're out of business. So get with some of them guys, or get with your local coin shops, or if you got several, get with 2 or 3 of them. Compare prices, whatever. It's on you to get your best price, especially as silver is going up. Again, you don't want to be buying fakes, thinking that you're, doing the right thing, but yet you're really going out of the world ass backwards if you're buying fakes. So be careful of places like Marketplace, eBay. Now there are probably some deals out there, and you could be okay, but honestly, I don't think so. You're better off to buy from your local coin shop. Another reason, not only premiums low on constitutional, and I really don't like to call it junk silver. You can if you want, I don't care. But I like to think of it as constitutional silver. And the reason for that is there's a lot of new people to the space, and when you say junk silver, it kind of turns them off, like they're buying an inferior product when they're not. Industry named it junk silver because back in the day, it was, it was really discounted. Again, we're getting to the point where we're back where when refiners are buying it, they really don't want it compared to pure silver or 999 silver. They don't want it as much, therefore they're discounting it. And the same thing goes with years and years ago. Silver was, constitutional silver was always sold at a discount because it's 90%. So you're buying it back a spot. That's great. But how do you know what spot is on constitutional? That's the thing about constitutional. I think a lot of people are afraid of it because they don't understand the math. Let me see if I can run something down for you real quick, and you can play this portion over and over again. Get a calculator out, check it out, see what I'm saying. Just before I started the video, I looked at Kitco, and I recommend you download the Kitco app so you know what true spot is, or as close to true as you can possibly get. Download their app, and the spot price, asking price, was $40.89. You take that $40.89 and multiply that by .715. And that'll give you what a dollar's worth of Constitutional, what its value is at the moment according to spot. So if you take 4089, multiply that by 7.15, or excuse me, 0.715, you'll come to 29.23, of which is, and not to make this complicated, but it's 29.23 times face value. So you had a dollar's worth of, let's say, dimes. You got 10 dimes. A dollar's worth of dimes is worth $29.23. Okay, as of right this moment, and that's according to a 4089 spot. Well, what's really nice about dimes, the math is easy. You can do it in your head. That means with a 29.23 or $29.23 spot price on Constitutional, 10 dimes is going to be $2.92 per dime. That's what's really easy. The other thing, now you can take that, it's a quick, you can get a calculator out and do it quick. Maybe some people can do it in their head, but I like to use a calculator. So you take dollar face at 29.23, and if you got quarters, you divide that by 4, and that gives you 7.30 or $7.30 per quarter. And if you take halves, obviously you take the 29.23, divide it in half, and you've got 14.60 per half. Okay, so that gives you spot price on those things. And if you go into your coin shop with that list in your hand, at least you would know what spot is on them dimes or quarters or halves. And at that point, if he's telling you it's this or it's that, and you can see what it actually is according to Kitco spot price. And I like to use Kitco because a lot of these other companies, if you look at SD Bullion, JM Bullion, or whoever, they're actually going by futures price. So when they say 29 cents, let's say they say 25 cents over spot. Well, that's 25 cents over future spot, not current spot price. And we can get into why futures are always, almost always, not always, but almost always higher than spot price, but we can do that another day. Let's not worry about that. But they like to go by the higher future price because it makes their price look better, when in reality you should go off a spot price. And I think Kitco is the most accurate. I'll tell you that most coin shops, when they're buying off of Kitco. And if they're worth the crap, they're selling off a Kitco spot too. So if they're saying $1 over spot or $1 under spot or whatever, and they're using Kitco, that's about the most honest price you can find. So download that Kitco app. And again, I'll go over it one more time, and you can play this over again if you need to. Not a big deal. As of a minute or two before this video started, the spot price was $40.89 an ounce of silver. To find out what your face value is on Constitutional, you multiply 4089 times 0.715. That'll give you 29.23. That is 29.23 per face. Okay, I was confused about this for a while, let me tell you, and it finally, and I'm pretty decent with math, and it finally got it right in my head. That was a problem. I had a hard time putting it in the right position in my head, and I finally got it right. So $29.23 per face. And again, the easy math on the dimes, this is why I like the dimes so well, is 0.9. That would give you a dime that is, according to spot, would be worth $2.92 spot. Okay, a quarter at $7.30 spot, and halves at 40.60 spot. Another reason why I like constitutionals really well is it doesn't make sense for most countries to fake. Okay, now if there's a collectible coin, let's say a collectible penny that people are paying way too much for, or a collectible dime of certain year, certain mintage, well, then maybe they will fake that dime or that penny or whatever, or even the key dates on a silver dollar. And mind you, silver dollars always carry somewhat more of a premium. One of the reasons I don't like, well, I'd buy them if I had to, but one of the reasons I don't like silver dollars is because they always carry a premium over spot. Even right now, when they're melting constitutional and they're paying back a spot, they're actually selling them above spot. And therefore, I'm not going there. And one of the biggest reasons I'm not going there is because there's lots and lots and lots of fakes out there in silver dollars. So there's been minted over the years, tons and tons of them. Yeah, these LCSs, they find them, they like to take them out of circulation, but that doesn't mean they got all of them. And in fact, you can almost bet there's new ones coming out of China all the time. In fact, I see on Facebook and that, uh, you know, uh, Morgans that are fake. The price tells you they're fake. You know, like $9.95 for a Morgan. You know, well, bullshit. That ain't a real Morgan. I'll tell you that right off the bat. You don't have to buy one to find out. I'll tell you right from here, it's fake. So watch that stuff. If it gets to the point, and I'm not saying it will, but it may get to the point where you're trading silver dollars for produce or product. And if that's the case, and there's a lot of fakes out there, and people know there's a lot of fakes out there, it's going to be hard to trade that Morgan dollar for anything. Okay, because it's going to be difficult for the average, let's say the average merchant, to know whether it's fake or not. It's going to make the transaction take longer. If he's got to check every Morgan that you're trading him, whether it's 1 or 50, he's got to check every one of them. He's going to discount them, or he's just not going to like them, or he's just not going to take them. Okay, if he doesn't have the ability to check if it's fake, he's just not going to take them. But if you got a silver dime, a silver quarter, a silver half, like I said, very few, if any, fakes out there on any of those. I would stack that instead. And it's, you know, some will say that, well, hell, 98% of the people don't even know what a silver dime is, a silver quarter. They can't tell the difference. Well, let me tell you, when shit gets real and everybody figures out that the fake fiat currency is the fake, they're going to learn really quick. It's either learn fast or die, one or the other. You're going to learn really quick that pre-65 dimes or pre-65 constitutional is silver, at least 90% silver. People are going to figure that out really quick. Another thing that I've seen in the past, not so much now, but your earlier constitutional, people were paying premiums on that because they say, well, it's real easy to tell that one of those older dimes, like what they call the Mercury dime, is pre-65. You don't even need a date on it. Well, or you don't need to read the date. Well, okay, that's all well and good. But honestly, you're paying the same price or more for something that's generally got more wear and less silver. And at some point, that is going to bite you in the ass. If you got a Mercury dime that's got a significant amount of wear on it, you can't even tell the date. Not that you need the date, because you can tell it's silver because it's a Mercury dime. But if there's a lot of wear on it, and then the guy next to you doesn't have any wear on his, let's say, 1964 dime, his 1964 dime by weight is worth more because yours has got a lot of wear. So it's actually worth less, and it'll be discounted some. So, you know, keep that in mind. You don't want to, if you're buying constitutional and you're buying, let's say, the Mercury dimes or the Washington quarters or I mean, excuse me, not the Washington quarters, but the Ben Franklin quarters or the early halves, like pre-war and war halves. If you're buying those, that's fine as long as you're not paying a premium on it for them. I wouldn't do that, and also don't buy what I call slicks. If it looks like it's got a significant amount of wear, it's got way more wear than you think it does. I've actually bought those in the past, not thinking too much about it. And when I stack a bunch of Mercury dimes in a holder, and if I take 50 Mercury dimes in one holder and 50 of the 1964 dimes in another holder, stand them up next to each other, and there's at least a dime's worth of silver missing. Okay, so obviously, even the ones that don't show much wear have got wear, and they are going to be discounted at least somewhat. Okay, and the worse the wear, the more they're going to be discounted. So that's why I'm stacking Constitutional, and I'm trying to get as close to spot as possible. I don't want you to buy silver and find out it's fake, and this is one of the best ways to not buy fake silver. However, when things get going crazy again, and at some point that's coming, whether we have an event like a bank failures, or we have, like I said, silver get much above 50, everybody's going to wake up all at once. And it's going to push premiums up high. And one of the premiums that go the highest, the fastest, is actually Constitutional. The one that's worse than that is that'll go higher and even faster will be Silver Eagles. And in reality, silver is silver. If it gets to the point, and it probably will get to the point where Constitutional no longer makes sense to buy because there's something with a significantly less premium, then you're going to need to learn to pivot at that point, and always be looking for the best deal, but be damn sure it's not fake. And there's many ways you can do that as well. One way, like I said, is get a relationship with your local, what they call local coin shop, or LCS. Get a relationship with him, and him or her, but generally him. When they see you coming in every week and they know you by name, you're going to get a better deal than the person that they've never seen before. So even if you get first dibs on something, where this other person they don't know and hasn't been buying from them and maybe just starting to buy from them, you're going to get some sort of preferential treatment. Just like coming in this gun shop, if you're in here every week and I know you by name, you're going to get a better deal. Whatever that looks like, you're going to get a better deal than the guy that I've never seen before. So just work on that. I'd like to, clear up the why you want to buy Constitutional. I don't want you to be afraid to buy Constitutional. I think, especially right now, it makes the most sense. And in the future, I'm sure it'll get to the point where we need to pivot and buy something other than Constitutional. But right now, this is the time. And again, I suggest you download, even if you don't buy a lot, download the app. What's it going to hurt? Get the Kitco app on your phone. Be watching that. See what gold and silver is doing every day. Don't worry about the dips. Honestly, from here, you're not going to see significant dips. Gold and silver rose, or silver, excuse me. Well, gold's been rising too. But silver rose, like I said, over the holiday weekend, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or Thursday, Friday, Sunday, actually, the market was open. It rose by $2 and change, and it's pulled back 30, 40 cents. That's what we're going to see. As things get crazier, we'll see, a dollar a day raise, $1.50 raise, and maybe 2-3 days of that, and then you'll see it come back 50 cents a buck, something like that. But don't worry about the volatility. You're not selling into that down market anyways. So don't worry about it. Um, like I like I say, just keep stacking. Everybody on YouTube land here is talking about a bull market in commodities, and in reality, what you're looking at is the dollar, the world de-dollarizing and or de-fiat currency. Fiat currencies around the world, gold and silver, have hit all-time highs, and that's all about fiat currency hitting all-time lows is the reality. They just turned it around to keep everybody confused. So, like I said, keep stacking. Appreciate all the comments, especially on the last video. I haven't got back to everybody. Things have been a little crazy around here. We'll work on getting back to everybody today. If you would, if you like what I'm talking about, please like and subscribe. Even share if you know somebody else that needs to, you think somebody else you know needs to know about gold and silver. Share it with them. I appreciate that. And I appreciate you leaving a comment. Even if it's, hey, I made it 21 minutes. That's cool. I just like to see people see it to the end. That lets me know that my content is worth listening to. Appreciate it, guys. Thank you. Bye.